Natalie Tsaldarakis from UK. She will tell us about Yannis Constantinidis 44 children's pieces, performance and pedagogical considerations.
My lecture recital is about Constantinidis, who is a Greek composer, and specifically I will be presenting his work, the 44 children's pieces according to the Greek edition, or as the American edition has a title, 44 Greek miniatures. Indeed, we're talking about two editions with very slight differences. And I will be using mainly the American edition, but prior to this presentation, I used to own a Greek edition to my pleasure displeasure. Somebody gifted from my home, so this is a good indication. It's a good work, but unfortunately I don't have it here. Anyway, Constantinidis is a Greek composer born 1903, died 1984. And it is very appropriate that we have seen already two lecture recitals. The one talking about folk element, the other one, if you allow me to call it like this, folklore, myths, and death. And why would that come into Greek children's pieces? It's a general disposition, really, that permits folklore, Greek folklore music anyway, that finally we have a timed existence on Earth, and then we'll just join it dust to dust type of thing. A little shorter there. Let me begin from the beginning, really. Who was Constantinidis? Constantinidis was a composer born into a rich Greek family in Smyrna, which was at the time Greek, and then there was the conflict between the Greeks and the Turks, and that war in 1917, then later on culminated in the destruction of Smyrna in 1922, so the family had to leave. Before that happened, and that was 1923, so he was 20, rather than 22, so 19 years old, he left Smyrna. Prior to this, he showed his musical talent very early on, so he was actually very blessed because the family had money, so he got the best instruction. And also we're told, at least by the musicologist who's taking care of the Greek edition, that Constantinidis actually absorbed influences of Greek folklore music that was all over the area, you know, because we are told the maids would sing, and so he would listen to Greek traditional singing. There is a mention specific, and I take it this is very important to his music, that he listened to the gypsies in the streets, and the family would take excursions in the wider area. So a lot of Eastern elements delved into one with Greek folklore music. And actually, you will find, it is very appropriate that this presentation takes place in Serbia, that Greek traditional music, in fact, has a lot of common elements with the wider area of the Balkans and Asia Minor, of course. So, just to give you a little bit of a background, what happened? So, destruction of Smyrna, he's 19, the whole family flees Smyrna. They end up in Athens with basically no money to support him, but he was very, very talented. Finds himself in Germany, studies there, and actually we're told he stayed quite a bit. He was from in Berlin from 23 to 26 for studies, but actually stayed till about 1930. He studied, and this is a very interesting fact, I think. He studied with a disciple of Schoenberg, Kurt Weill, the collaborator of Bertolt Brecht, was his teacher for orchestration and conducting. So a lot of Germanic, well, pure Germanic, turn of the century tonal training and a view of which is modernist. He starts his musical career there because there is no money in the family. So what he does is he takes on odd jobs in cabarets, in bars, not exactly glamorous or within the canon, if you like. And also we're told he works for the radio, he works for musical theater, so more onto popular music sector. And also we're told his first work was premiered in Berlin. It was an opera. It's called the Liebespazius, something like that. And it was a very, very great success with the public and with the critics as well. After this, it's 1930, and apparently he realizes that the Nazis are gaining power, or at least this is what is written, and that I take it, this had something to do with him deciding that this is enough, the climate is not right, he has to go back to Athens. I have to also mention, we don't have many names of famous Greek composers that made it overseas. So we have Constantinidis, but he's been obscured by his popular music, really. So I'm sure, though, that some of you here may have heard Skalkotas, I hope. And Skalkotas is one of the few famous Greek composers that you'll find, let's say, in the concise Harvard Dictionary, so at least. And why am I mentioning Skalkotas? Skalkotas was trained in Germany, and he actually signed up to a tonality, but he also has a very famous orchestral suite, which is the 4 Greek dances, and he actually made his name with that. In fact, there is a recording with the New York Philharmonic conducted by Mitropoulos, famous Greek conductor. And Skalkotas and Constantinidis met in Berlin, and they were friends. And they were friends to the extent that it reminds us of this Liszt-Chopin relationship, where they talked about music extensively. I think it's every day, and they actually played each other's music and criticized, yes, in a positive manner, each other's work. So there was an exchange there that's important. And I keep saying German, German, German. It's very important because Constantinidis actually did not actually follow that type of, if you like, tradition. So he was handed over a tonal tradition and never assigned to it. He goes back to Athens and he makes himself very well known in popular music, but because there was another Constantinidis around, he thought, well, the other Constantinidis is already famous, I'm trying to make it here, so I have to do something. Constantinidis is really Kostas, which is a first name, and the Idis is son of Kostas. So he takes the Constantinidis, makes it as a first name, Kostas, takes the Yannis, which is a John, first name, makes that into a surname, Yannidis. So he's very, very famous in Greece as a Kostas Yannidis, but if you say now Constantinidis, basically he's very well known among conservatory students and their teachers. So he became very, very famous writing popular songs for musical theater, for cinema. If you've heard, I take it everyone knows Nana Mouskouri, the very well-known Greek singer. She actually sang his song in the first Mediterranean Song Contest, and guess what, they won? First prize. So a lot of glamorous popular sector music composition for Kostas Yannidis. And the alter ego, himself writing the serious sector, if you like, for serious music, he's been overshadowed, even during his lifetime.